This little corner of our yard used to be a cozy shade garden, and until we realized that we needed a safer place to keep our barbecue and a space that fit the cottage farmhouse vibe of our backyard. So, this is the story of how we took an overgrown jungle, ripped out a hedge that I absolutely loved, battled roots and broken irrigation lines, and turned it into one of my favorite places on our property. So, here's how we built our barbecue cover from scratch and how we brought my design vision to life. We started with this tall hedge that gave us so much privacy, and it made the spot feel really tucked away and cozy. Honestly, it was really hard for me to let it go, but the space had gotten wild. Roots were everywhere, plants were overgrown, and we needed a safer spot for the barbecue that was away from the house and away from the exterior walls. Once the hedge came down, the empty space felt really strange to me. It felt like a little piece of our backyard was missing. I was so sad, but I knew it was going to only be temporary, and sometimes you have to clear things out before you can rebuild. The left side. That's it? That's all I was supposed to do? Well, that was easy. So what? Well, I don't know what that means, but it came out of that one right there.
It came out of that
And
one.
then we hit our first big challenge, the roots. A full invasive network running under our entire flower bed, plus broken irrigation lines that we didn't expect, stump removal that had to be done, dirt was everywhere, and there was just hours and hours of digging. And this was one of those moments where I was like, I love designing, and I am just so thankful that Eric has the skills and patience to actually make my ideas happen. Are the for the frame for the posts?
Yeah.
You're gonna cement those in,
Yeah.
and then where there's gonna be like pavers.
Where I'm standing, it'll be
Okay, got it.
Meow.
Oh, hi, kitty.
Meow. Kitty.
Once the roots were finally cleared, it was time to start the structure. So every post had to be straight, level, perfectly centered because these would become the walls of the enclosure. And Eric used the support beams to brace everything while the concrete dried, checking and rechecking that the posts didn't shift. Seeing those first beams go up suddenly felt like the space didn't feel so empty anymore. It felt like there was potential here. Well, you made quick work of that because I wasn't gone that long.
We're shock right now.
I don't know what we're doing. You have to explain this to me. Break it down really simple.
Do you know anything about what's happening right now?
I actually know nothing.
Next came the roof framing, and this part was a whole project on its own. We used heavy 4x6 beams for the real strength and to match the cottage-style builds in our yards. These beams are solid and take precision to lift, measure, and angle correctly, especially in our tight space that we're working with. One of the biggest challenges was deciding on how much trim so the roof line looked balanced. With the palm tree growing so close, we didn't want the roof to look crammed or uneven, so we must have stepped back a dozen times wondering if each cut would visually work. And through all of it, I really appreciate Eric's patience with me so much. He explains things so clearly, but some of the technical parts take me a minute to actually visualize. And he always slows down to break it down for me, and I really appreciate that. Palm tree on the other side.
I want to make it the same on this side. 6 inches will clear the bottom. Barely.
I like that, it's cute.
Yeah.
It matches, I like how it matches the pitch of the shed and the gazebo. It's really cute.
And a 2x4 in the center here.
To give it like a gable detail.
Do we get a little character?
Yeah. Yeah. Or do you want to do it like the gazebo? It has two.
There's 2. I think it's going to be 2 plain. It might look a little funny.
Okay. Uh-huh. It's really I'm excited.
You want an angle? Or straight up
I don't know. Don't overwhelm me with these decisions.
I don't have the energy for you today.
Gotcha. And messy, but you have ice cream all down the front of your shirt. And your shoes are on the wrong feet. To trim the far side beam, he even had to go onto our neighbor's side of the fence, and that's how tight the angle was after securing everything. He trimmed each beam so the ends matched perfectly. And by the time the final cut was made, those beams looked like they were always meant for this space. And I am so happy, the perfect foundation for the cottage style roof that was coming next. Before closing in the roof, we added a small center pitch detail, a simple accent that gives the whole structure charm. These little touches make a project feel intentional, not just functional. I mean, a roof is a roof, right? But adding character takes it from a box with a top to something that feels like it belongs in a cottage garden, and that is so important to me. With that detail added, the structure finally had personality, which is the first glimpse of the finished look that we've been working towards. Eric measured each panel, locked them together, tongue and groove style, and nailed them into place. The shiplap gives that whole structure that clean cottage look that I just love. Once everything was installed, Eric painted the entire enclosure while I was at work with fresh white paint that just brightens everything and ties it back to the rest of the yard. For the roof, Eric pre-cut sheets of galvanized steel and secured them with a 6-inch overhang. I wanted that extra length, not just for runoff, but for the soft scallop edge you get when galvanized panels extend a little past the frame. So there's a moment in the video where I zoomed in on the detail because it's one of my absolute favorites, and it gives the entire cover a finished, intentional look, like something you'd see in an old farmhouse outbuilding. Installing the panels took precision. Eric lined up each sheet, checked the spacing and pitch, and made sure both sides matched perfectly. Once the panel was secured, everything changed. The cover suddenly had weight, presence, and that polished galvanized edge that makes it feel comfortable, like a little cottage tucked into the corner of our yard. I do. Next came the lighting, and honestly, this part made me so happy. Eric picked solar lanterns that matched the ones on our chicken coop and shed, keeping everything cohesive. He positioned them so they cast light exactly where we needed it for nighttime cooking. There's something about warm lantern light that instantly transforms a space. At night, the glow makes the whole barbecue house feel welcoming and magical, tying the entire backyard together in the sweetest cottage farmhouse way. The next morning, with fresh daylight, it was time to start the foundation, and this is one of the longer parts of the build. Eric poured 3,000 psi concrete to create a strong level base. Getting concrete smooth and even in a small confined space takes time, patience, and precision. Once it cured enough, he began dry packing the pavers. Each one had to sit level, match the next, and form a clean line. It's almost like assembling a puzzle, like every paver matters. After the layout was perfect, he brushed sand between the cracks and lightly sprayed everything so it locked together. This step grounded the entire structure. With the pavers in place, the barbecue cover felt permanent, fully integrated into the backyard instead of just adding onto it. Here it is, guys, the finished look. Here's the barbecue cover. I used to love the privacy from the hedge, but now I love this even more. It adds character, privacy, gives the barbecue its own home, and I'm just so grateful that we took the leap, and even more grateful that Eric's skill was able to bring these designs to life. So if this inspired you, let me know in the comments. If you love that cottage, farmhouse projects, micro bakery life, or home transformations, like this video and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Take care, guys.